Hey everyone, my name is Aaron. Welcome back to the Critic Sensei YouTube channel, your go-to channel for movie reviews, TV reviews, and updates with the entertainment industry. On this channel, we sharpen the edge of entertainment, one critique at a time. So today we have some big news to dive into. In regards to the downfall of the Acolyte, and what's been going down at Lucasfilm and Disney as a whole. And before we get this video started, I want to thank you guys for the support. You guys are absolutely crushing the like button, subscribing to the channel, and it means so much finding other like-minded people who don't want that DEI agenda pushed upon them and just want great entertainment. And again, I hope you guys enjoy this video today, and let's start today's video. Ever since Disney bought out Lucasfilm in 2012 and placed Kathleen Kennedy in charge as president of Lucasfilm, things haven't been great for the last 12 years. Kathleen Kennedy was supposed to respect George Lucas's vision on Star Wars, but obviously over the years, she swayed so far away from it, it doesn't even feel like Star Wars anymore. Obviously, Kathleen Kennedy were not respectful to the characters, the story, the lore, and ultimately she did not respect George Lucas's vision of Star Wars. George Lucas trusted Kathleen Kennedy, and they're friends. He trusted her with his baby, and he absolutely destroyed it. It honestly takes a lot of skill to destroy such a big IP such as Star Wars, the biggest IP in the world. What followed was a series of horrible decisions which derailed the franchise. And one of the most recent disasters, The Acolyte. The show's ratings were absolutely horrendous. It lost more than 75% of its viewerships from the first 2 episodes to the finale. And on top of that, it was the lowest rated and lowest viewed Star Wars project to ever be created. And the worst thing of all, it was very expensive to make. It was over $230 million, I believe, which is insanity for the quality of this project. The acting was subpar. The scenes, the settings of the show were subpar. The storyline, the writing, the directing, everything was so poor in this show, it makes you wonder where all this money went. Now today we're talking about the showrunner of The Acolyte, Leslye Headland. It's been a while since we spoke about her. She's been really quiet since she blamed the fans for the downfall of this show. And don't get me wrong, Kathleen Kennedy is in charge of Lucasfilm and of Star Wars in general. But she hired Kathleen Kennedy to be the showrunner of this show, and she was absolutely the wrong person to do it. Keep in mind, Leslye Headland was the personal assistant of Harvey Weinstein, and somehow she got this huge job at Lucasfilm under Kathleen Kennedy. Both Kathleen Kennedy and Leslye Headland were pushing their agenda in this show instead of focusing on good storytelling and being true to the Star Wars fan base. And because of them pushing their agenda, they got so much backlash from the fans, and the viewership, the ratings showed. And after the colossal failure of The Acolyte, Disney finally decided to take action, and first they canceled season 2 of The Acolyte. It'll never see the light of day. Because of all the millions they lost, the ratings and the viewership were so low, it makes sense there's no season 2. And the best news of all, Leslye Headland has been officially fired, and she's been removed from any future Lucasfilm projects, and she is completely out. What's wilder, Disney officially fired her from everything, including other big projects she was supposed to possibly lead in. One of the most notable was the current project coming up. It was the all-female lead Pirates of the Caribbean that's coming out. And she was supposed to be working on a current live-action remake of The Sword and Stone. Disney decided it was too risky to keep her on board after her involvement in one of the biggest flops in Disney history. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Leslye Headland is trying to make this about something else, claiming that she was fired because of her identity. But in reality, this is not the case. It was her inability to lead a show, to be a good showrunner and create a good television show. She had basically an unlimited budget to make a good Star Wars project, but instead she pushed Kathleen Kennedy's and her agenda on this show, identity politics, and it became a huge disaster. It was obvious that she couldn't create quality content no matter how big of a budget she had. And because of this, it makes sense Disney would not want to use her for any future projects. And let's be honest here, the numbers don't lie. No matter what these people say that like The Acolyte, the show did not deliver. It got very low viewership, very low ratings overall, and like I stated already, it was the lowest rated and viewed Star Wars project to ever be created. On top of that, no other project had this big of a budget and failed miserably. Disney finally realized they couldn't afford to keep her around any longer, especially with the public knowing she was the key reason for this show failing. If they did keep her, any future project she would be a part of would have been tarnished before it got started. What's happening right now is Disney's definitely doing damage control over this whole Acolyte situation. Firing Leslye Headland is a move from Disney to try to convince fans that they're turning things around. Bob Iger keeps saying the same things over and over, stating that he knows they're not creating quality content but quantity, but yet we're still getting one failed project after another. Keep in mind, Bob Iger is definitely the worst CEO to ever be in that position. He keeps stating things are going to turn around, things are going to change, stating this for the shareholders, but the projects he's releasing don't show that he's changing anything. It's one failed project after another, pushing his DEI initiative in every project they create. And of course, don't get me wrong, there's several projects that are outliers, such as In and Out 2 and Deadpool and Wolverine. Both great movies that were successes. But other than these two, everything else that Disney's creating on the Marvel side, live action, and the Lucasfilm side, they're all failing due to the DEI involvement. Bob Iger, Disney's CEO, knows Disney is in deep trouble, and so is his position at Disney. 2023 was a rough year for Disney. 2024 was honestly even worse due to all the failures they've had, losing billions and billions of dollars, not just from their live action films, not just from their television shows, but also from Disney Plus. But instead of shifting away from the things that are driving the viewers away, they're trying to hide their failures by firing recognizable names like Kathleen Kennedy, and also firing other people like the marketing team, the people who are in charge of the commercial of the Acolyte, showing that they're making these changes, but yet still coming out with projects like Agatha All Along. Not making changes, Kathleen Kennedy won't take responsibility for any of these failed projects. Also, Bob Iger, he will not take responsibility for anything that's going on, stating it's the audience's fault for not liking their projects, even though it's obvious they have no idea what they're doing. And I know I said this time and time again, Disney is focusing on pushing their agenda, pushing their narrative into their shows, instead of focusing on creating good storytelling for their audience. As long as Disney keeps pushing their agendas, they'll keep pushing away their fan base, and they'll have more failed projects one after another. Anyways, what do you guys think of all of this? At the end of the day, it comes down to management. Kathleen Kennedy, Leslye Headland, CEO Bob Iger, not taking accountability for these failed projects, losing millions, billions of dollars, instead of changing things, wanting to make a difference in their shows, films, and live action remakes. They keep pushing this agenda, which there is no audience for. And it's so obvious that Disney doesn't know who their audience is at this point. It's obvious Disney needs to clear house. Everyone they have in there right now is not doing Disney justice. Disney's not the same as it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. Disney's been going downhill for the last decade now, and it's obvious they're struggling to make money everywhere. And remember, I do respond back to every single comment I get. Peace out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.